Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. Plenty coming up on the show as I welcome Rob Popplestone to the show. Poppy?
Oh, I'm feeling good. We're into the back half of the season now and it's starting to take shape. I know I said that a couple of weeks ago, but right now the Tigers are well placed in 6th position. They're taking on an opponent that has struggled to beat a side in the top 8 this week. I've got a number of big wagers on and I'm prepared to make a number of other big wagers to say that we're going to win again.
While you're a Richmond man, and we're talking about Port Adelaide, you've had some terrific signings this week as well. Well done to the club down there. You were in Melbourne last week. Richmond v Carlton at the MCG. There's something unusual that caught your attention, the security around the MCG.
There was, actually, yeah. I parked the car just close to the casino, just more for convenience than anything else. Number 29 didn't come up. But the thing was, I walked from the casino through to the MCG.
Yep.
And what I did notice, it actually looked very unusual. At least a dozen, could have been more, but at least a dozen security staff scanning vehicles, military-style scanning, with the mirrors on the bottom of long poles going underneath
telescopic
cars,
arm with the mirrors.
Telescopic arm. So every vehicle that was parked underneath the MCG was checked both within the boot, within the cabin, and importantly, underneath. So this caused a fair bit of backlog of vehicles obviously getting into the MCG. When I got there, and I did get there about 20 minutes before the game, missed the start of the game because the lineups to get through because of security as well. So not only is there bag security that we'd all be familiar with at Adelaide Oval, was as soon as you go through bag security, then it's the wand security that everyone has to,
metal detector.
Metal detector that go front and back, and kids and elderly, everyone was detected on the way through to the MCG, meaning there was a backlog of people of about half an hour getting into the ground. One, it didn't feel right, it definitely didn't look right, and I just wonder now, is that an indication that's what we're going to get at Adelaide Oval? I don't know.
Probably not too far away from Adelaide Oval. We don't get that at Adelaide Oval at the moment.
We don't at the moment. Okay.
But I do know, having spoken with Darren Chandler a couple of weeks ago, that one of the things they do is they sweep the ground on Friday, if it's a Saturday game.
Oh, the sweep?
Yep, no, a sweep looking for anything that may be unusual in the ground. Then they do that before the game as well, before the fans enter in.
Yes.
Then there's the normal security that you've seen, and that's been tightened up a little bit.
Okay, yes.
But they haven't certainly got to the stage yet with the metal detectors, but you can see it coming. I mean, in the NBA and the American sports over there now, you have to carry your gear in a clear bag. And it's only a small bag, so you can see a jumper, a drink, a scarf.
Yes.
Same with the backpack.
Yeah.
I think that will come in. I think inevitably it'll be like going to the airport. I honestly would think before long, getting to a sporting game will be exactly the same as going to the airport. There'll be a conveyor belt that checks everything that goes through. There'll be a metal detector that you go under, and it's going to take a considerable amount of time to get into the ground.
Well, you know what, and it makes sense because the fact is, if you bring something onto a plane, yes, worst case scenario, September 11, the fact is there's only 200 people on a plane, but if you bring something into an oval, we've got anywhere from 10 grand to 100,000 people at the MCG, obviously, and now on the weekend we had 66,000. The problem you've got there is if we're encouraging people to get to the ground earlier,
no entertainment.
Well, there needs to be something. We were all brought up on reserves football. Because...
So the AFL needs to create a reserves competition?
Well, they need to create something. Now, I know the Adelaide Crows were desperately trying to provide a reason for their supporters to get to the ground early because traditionally, of course, South Australian supporters rock up at the last minute and that causes congestion. But the reason we lock up at the last minute is there's no need to rock up any earlier.
Yep.
I'm just saying, if the scenario changes for security purposes, then I think we need to look at some other...
Let me ask you this. If they were to put a band on and play, would that make you come any earlier to the game?
No, look, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't make me.
No.
Now, if there was a reserves competition and your team was playing, so there's always been that argument about the Crows and the Power having a team here in the SANFL. And other teams are saying, well, we play our teams in the VFL, etc. Is it time for the AFL to say, for these reasons, we want people to get to the ground earlier, we're going to have to create a reserves competition?
Well, look...
It's expensive, but they've got the money.
Look, it's expensive, but at the same time, I know it's not the perfect scenario, but if the Crows SANFL team is having their curtain raiser games prior to a Crows game, and the Magpies the same, they section off a portion of the ground where supporters of the opposing team can come along and watch. They clear that out.
So you're talking about an SANFL?
An SANFL game, why not? I mean, the fact is, if you want to draw a connection between the SANFL Crows and the AFL Crows, it's obviously there. You can watch Scott Thompson playing the reserves game prior to and make your own determination as to whether he should be considered. But it makes it more relevant. To me,
your big problem is getting the crowd in and out.
But the fact is, if you allocate a proportion of the ground that want to come and watch the SANFL, it's like clearing a plane in and out as well. You clear them out straight away. If you've paid with your band to stay on and watch the game, you stay on and watch the game. But if you haven't, then you can't.
Well, that's not a bad thought.
I just made it up, but you could consider it.
Thought. Now we need to get over to the markets because, of course, the Bevo is over there with South Adelaide's Alex Aurrichio interviewing right now.
So today we're joined by Alex Aurrichio from the South Adelaide Football Club. He's been in Australia for 3 years now, and Adelaide only a very short time, 2 months. It's his first year of playing SANFL football. How have you found your time so far in Adelaide, Alex?
It's been great. Really enjoying the culture and the people here. It's great, right by the beach. The city of Adelaide is awesome. I'm really impressed by what I've seen. Unexpected too.
Awesome. And so how did you sort of become an AFL footballer or an SANFL footballer?
I actually had an opportunity to speak with Buddha, Gary Hocking, a couple months ago, and had a real good talk about what my aspirations were as a footballer and what he thought himself and the South Adelaide Football Club could provide. And we really kind of hit it off there for an hour on the phone, and he flew me out the next day, and then signed the contract the day after that, and played round one the day after that. So it happened real quick.
Oh, that's awesome. And how are you finding the changeover from, you of course played baseball as a child and also soccer. How are you finding learning the rules of Aussie rules?
There's so many, I guess, unexpected rules, if you will, that you never really learn them until you break them. So when you're in the game, usually how I learn, you can't do that. Well, after the 25-meter penalty, then I'll learn. So I remember I didn't know that you had to give the ball back after a foul, I guess, if you will. So that was 50 when we were back in Melbourne. Running through the mark, 25. Every game, there seems to be a different rule that I break. So just you learn them as you break them, I guess, is the best advice.
Oh, very good. And is there future aspirations to be playing AFL football in the next couple of years?
Yeah, hope the goal right now is to get drafted. So hopefully in the next couple of years that can kind of come to fruition with some hard work and some luck and opportunity.
Awesome stuff. Now, also, you lived with the Dannahers for a couple of years. How did you find that experience?
Yeah, lived for a year, and living with them kind of just set the tone for the whole experience here. It's been almost 3 years now. And without those guys and their support, generosity, and just kind of taking me under their wing, I guess, if you will, has really helped me out in some tough times, some down times, and also in some really high times and some really good moments. So that stabilizing factor to have them behind me has been really just invaluable.
Awesome stuff. And which part of America did you come from, Alex? Tell us a bit about yourself growing up.
I was born and raised in New York, Long Island, New York. Was there till about, it was 24, 23, something around there. And came out to Melbourne 2 years ago, and this is my first couple months in Adelaide.
Fantastic. And have you sort of seen anywhere else around Australia other than Melbourne and Adelaide so far?
I spent a little bit of time in Sydney, but really enjoyed Melbourne, and right now I'm loving Adelaide. It's been great. Different change, but everyone's been like, you're not going to like it from New York, and I don't see what's not to like here. It's been great. It's been absolutely fantastic. So it's been a nice surprise.
Awesome. So there you have it. Alex Aurrichio from the South Adelaide Football Club. Hopefully we'll be seeing him playing AFL next year. Thanks a lot for your time today, Alex.
Pleasure. Thank you.